Hello, I'm Nikki Newman. This is my official YouTube channel. Please subscribe and support us.
The Young and the Restless spoilers Tuesday full episodes news April to 12026. Welcome back to our channel, fellow Y and R addicts. Today is an absolutely beautiful day, but let me tell you, after watching the latest episode, my blood pressure is completely through the roof. Grab your coffee, your tea, or maybe something stronger, because we desperately need to unpack the absolute madness going down in Genoa City and Las Vegas right now. Let's get right into it. I cannot believe they are doing this to Sharon and Noah. Seriously, my hands are literally shaking as I type this because I am so furious and stressed out. We need to start with Las Vegas because my heart is entirely in my throat. Matt Clark is literally the devil incarnate. I mean, we all knew Matt was unhinged, but using Nick's own phone to text Sharon and Noah and lure them into an abandoned building, it is sick. It is twisted. And it is exactly the kind of psychological torture Matt thrives on. I have been watching this show for years, and Matt's obsession with destroying Nick Newman has always been next level. But this is a whole new level of sadistic cruelty. And the fact that Nick and Adam finally managed to escape that initial hostage situation only for Nick to be completely compromised by the drugs Matt pumped into his system. I am furious. Nick is being such a stubborn fool right now for refusing medical attention. He is literally walking around with fentanyl and cocaine in his system, fighting off an active, chemically induced addiction triggered by a madman, and he thinks he can just walk it off. No, just no. Nick has always had this massive hero complex, this desperate need to prove he can handle everything on his own and protect everyone. But this is chemical warfare on his brain. He is not thinking straight. Adam was right there. Adam used every single ounce of his dark spider instincts from his Vegas days to read Matt's bluff. Matt tried to look Adam dead in the eye and tell him Nick was dead, but Adam saw right through it. Adam fought to save his brother, and they got out of the immediate danger. But now Nick is a walking time bomb, and Matt knows it. Matt is playing for D-chess while Nick can barely string a sentence together without craving another hit. It breaks my heart seeing Nick reduced to this state. Remember when Matt tried to ruin Nick's life back in the day, framing him and causing so much trauma? Yeah, didn't work then either. But this time, Matt has the chemical advantage. But wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's talk about Sharon and Noah walking into the trap. Sweet, fiercely protective Sharon. She flew all the way to Vegas because she felt it in her maternal bones that Nick was in terrible danger. Noah is with her, completely freaking out, pacing the floors of Crimson Lights before they left. And now they are walking right into a literal horror movie trap. Am I the only one screaming at the screen? Don't go in there. It's so frustrating. Matt is going to use Sharon and Noah as leverage to force Nick to do something unthinkable. Because Nick is already struggling with the drugs, his judgment is completely shot. What if Matt forces Nick to choose between his own life and Sharon's? I am dreading the next episode because I just know Sharon is going to see Nick in this broken, addicted state, and it's going to shatter her heart into a million pieces. Okay, back to the point. Let's pivot back to Genoa City because what is happening with Phyllis Summers is blowing my mind, and I need to vent about Michael Baldwin. Michael Baldwin, you shady, shady man. So, Michael and Lauren are supposedly celebrating Lauren's big new chapter at Summers Corp. Lauren is stepping up as Phyllis's second in command. Michael is finally retiring and hanging up his legal suits, and everything is supposed to be champagne and roses. But nitrogen monoxide. Michael looks at his phone and gets an alert that Phyllis's new company is basically going under. It's imploding, and what does he do? He hesitates. I am sorry, but if my wife just took a massive, career-defining job at her best friend's company, and I found out the company was secretly tanking, I would speak up immediately. Is Lauren going to warn Phyllis, or is she going to keep Michael's secret? This is such a terrible position to put Lauren in. If she keeps it a secret, Phyllis is going to absolutely lose her mind when she finds out you do not betray Phyllis Summers. We all know exactly what happens when Phyllis feels backed into a corner or betrayed by her inner circle. She goes nuclear. She will scorch the earth. If Lauren stays quiet, their friendship is completely over. But if she tells Phyllis, she might be betraying Michael's confidence. It is a lose-lose situation, and I am so stressed for Lauren. And speaking of going nuclear, let's talk about Victor Newman. The mustache is plotting something massive, and I am terrified. He just fired a massive warning shot at his enemies, and we all know that when Victor fires a warning shot, someone is about to lose absolutely everything. The spoilers say Victor is going to sit across from Phyllis and make her an offer she can't refuse. This is huge. If Summers Corp is secretly going bankrupt or being actively sabotaged probably by Victor himself, let's be real. Because he loves creating a crisis just to swoop in and be the savior, Phyllis is going to be desperate. And a desperate Phyllis making a deal with the devil himself. I am here for it, but I am also terrified for her. Remember when Victor and Phyllis teamed up in the past? It always ends in fire, brimstone, and mutual destruction. Victor is probably going to offer to bail out her company, but the price is going to be her soul, or worse, her loyalty against someone she loves. Maybe he wants her to help destroy Jack. Or maybe it has to do with Summer. Either way, Phyllis sitting at a table with Victor shows exactly how desperate she is. She would never willingly owe Victor Newman a favor unless her back was completely against the wall. I know some people are loving this potential team up, but personally, I think Phyllis is walking right into a trap. Which brings me to the absolute train wreck that is Jack Abbott's love life. I cannot with Diane Jenkins. Look, I know Jack messed up. Sleeping with Patty Williams, gross, disgusting. The worst decision he has ever made in a long history of bad decisions. Patty is literally unhinged and has a history of violence and chaos. But Diane freezing Jack out and then secretly teaming up with Victor Newman to destroy him. That is classic Diane. She never, ever changes. She plays the victim, but the second she gets hurt, she turns into a venomous snake. And now Diane walks in and catches Jack and Nikki Newman together. Of course she does. Jack is heartbroken. Nikki is trying to play peacemaker because she always has to insert herself into Jack's drama, and they are sharing a moment. Diane's paranoia is going to shoot through the roof. She is going to think Jack and Nikki are plotting against her or having an emotional affair behind her back, and it's just going to fuel her revenge pact with Victor. I swear, the Jack, Nikki, and Diane triangle is like a bad rash that never goes away. I kinda love the drama, but I also just want to shake Jack and tell him to be single for 5 minutes. He brings this on himself. Okay, let's take a breath, because the next topic really made me cry tonight. Sally Spectra. Oh my God, my heart breaks for this woman. She just told Billy she is pregnant. And Billy, because he is an oblivious, chaotic man-child, is thrilled. He's jumping for joy, planning their future, probably picking out names and nursery colors in his head. But Sally is terrified. And she has every single right to be. Am I the only one who remembers the absolute agony of Sally losing baby Ava? That storyline completely destroyed me. The trauma of losing a child is not something you just get over. And now she's pregnant again, and her mind is spiraling. She is comparing her loss of Ava to Billy's loss of Delia, but she knows deep down it's not the same situation. Her grief is so fresh, so raw, but it's not just about the trauma of the past. It's about Billy. Let's be brutally honest here. Guys, Billy Abbott is a walking disaster. I love him, I really do, but he is a mess. He makes terrible decisions. He never listens to anyone's warnings. He gambles with his life and his career. And his mother is Jill Abbott. Can you imagine having Jill Abbott as your mother-in-law for the rest of your life? Jill is going to make Sally's life a living hell. She already doubts the paternity. Jill and Billy were questioning if Sally was even pregnant with his kid, which is so incredibly insulting. Sally is sitting there internally panicking, wondering if she can really tie herself to this chaotic Abbott drama forever. She told Billy before that her own father was a chaotic mess who chased shiny things, and she sees that exact same fatal flaw in Billy. I am so scared for Sally. She deserves stability. She deserves someone who isn't going to blow up their lives every 6 months. And the fact that Audra Charles, of all people, is the only one really supporting her and understanding her trauma, wow, just wow. I never thought I would be cheering for an Audrey and Sally friendship, but here we are. And speaking of relationships falling apart, what on earth is Devon Hamilton doing? I am so frustrated with Devon right now. He filed a petition to basically throw Mariah Copeland in prison or severely punish her without even consulting Abby. Abby is his partner. They share Dominic. How do you make a massive legal move like that behind your wife's back? Abby is rightfully furious. I actually have to give Abby a lot of credit here. She is showing so much mercy and grace. She knows Mariah was mentally ill when she took Dominic. She knows Mariah needs a psychiatric facility, not a cold prison cell. But Devon is just so rigid and angry. He cannot let go of his grudges. And now Sharon and Christine are stepping in, confronting Devon, begging him to drop the petition. If Devon doesn't back down, this is going to completely destroy his marriage to Abby. You can already see the cracks forming. Abby is looking at Devon like she doesn't even know who he is anymore. I mean, Devon used to love Mariah. They were together. Where is his compassion? Why is he being so vindictive when the woman clearly needs medical help? And Devon isn't just being stubborn about Mariah. He is being absolutely impossible about Holden, too. Lily is out here doing the absolute most, trying to hold the fractured Winters family together. She just found out Holden is her biological brother because Malcolm is his dad, and she is fiercely defending him. She is begging Devon and Nate to just give Holden a chance. But Devon and Nate are acting like petulant children, Nate especially. Nate has alienated half the family already with his corporate backstabbing and his ruthless ambition. And now he wants to turn his nose up at Holden. Please get over yourself, Nate. But wait, there is a glimmer of hope for Nate. He runs into Dr. Stephanie Johnson at the GCAC. I loved this scene so much. Stephanie was best friends with Olivia, Nate's mom. Hearing Stephanie talk about Olivia, bringing up those nostalgic memories of Genoa City's past, you could see Nate's walls coming down just a little bit. I really hope Stephanie can be the maternal voice of reason Nate so desperately needs right now. He needs to remember where he came from, honor his mother's memory, and accept his family. Meanwhile, Holden is leaning on Claire Grace Newman. I am actually kinda shipping this. Is it too early? Holden is so lost, so overwhelmed by this massive legacy family he just got thrust into, and Claire knows exactly what it feels like to be the outsider trying to fit into a crazy, powerful family. They have this really sweet, genuine connection, and I am totally here for it. Claire needs someone who isn't dragging her into dark trauma, and Holden needs a friend. Oh, and before I forget, Danny and Christine. Danny is helping Christine make some massive, important decision. The spoilers said she had a huge surprise for him that turned super emotional. What could it possibly be? Are they leaving Genoa City? Is it something about her career as a lawyer, or is it something health-related? I swear, if the writers heart cricket, I will riot. Danny looked completely blindsided in the previews. They just got their happy ending after decades of drama with Phyllis. Please don't ruin it now. Let them be happy. I am just so overwhelmed by all these storylines crashing together. The writers are really not holding back this month. Between the Vegas hostage situation, the corporate sabotage at Summers Corp, the Winters family tearing themselves apart, and Sally's heartbreaking pregnancy fears, I don't know how my heart is going to take the next few weeks. I need to know what you guys think. Am I being too hard on Devon? Am I the only one terrified for Sharon and Noah? Drop your thoughts, because I clearly need to vent with people who understand this obsession.